Greetings, beautiful kings and queens, my soul family from all over the world. Ooh, I thought I would come on and do a live as I am in the process of overcoming some pretty strong cravings. I thought I was smooth sailing earlier today. I felt so good on the melons. I am on day 6 of eating nothing but melons, and I have been really thriving, really feeling so good. And today I went for a walk with my daughter downtown, and I started smelling all of these delicious smells, right? These foods. And here in Montreal, when the springtime comes, it is so beautiful. So everybody comes out and there's like this energy in the air, and there's these terraces where people go and sit and they drink wine and they're eating. So we were there, and I started struggling a little bit. I started struggling, I won't lie, and started feeling like, oh my gosh, I want to eat. I want to eat. I want to sit down and have a meal and just be normal. Why can't I just be normal like everybody else? Well, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? And started really asking me myself these questions, right? Let me just make sure everything's good. Da-da-da-da. I realized I didn't come on live yesterday on my day 5. That's okay. My goal was to do 5 days, and then I just have been, like, feeling so good on the melons that I said, "Let me just keep on going." I just wanna keep on going and see, maybe I could do a month, maybe I could do 10 days. But today I said, "I'm going a little bit further." And then boom, as soon as I made that commitment, today it really hit me hard. And so I just wanted to share, like, what I do to move through those feelings, through those cravings, and perhaps it could help somebody else that is experiencing something like this. And this applies to really anything that you are trying to conquer, anything that you are trying to rise above, right? I compare food addictions to drug addictions a lot because it's very similar. The same part of the brain gets activated when we eat very stimulating foods, right? And just being in full transparency, I have been eating some cooked food since my last extended juice cleanse. And even before that, I had been by choice, experimenting and navigating through these whole food, always plant-based, of course, plant exclusive. I am a vegan always. Even if I eat cooked foods, it'll be something like, you know, steamed veggies, baked veggies, like stews, things like that, lentil soup, veggie soups, and pretty healthy. And I also sometimes crave those restaurant foods. So that's really what I am the most concerned with, because my body does react a certain way, especially to like my favorite, which is Asian cuisine, like Thai food and Chinese food, which often they put like a lot of seasonings. Sometimes there's MSG in there. There's just like so much salt as well. So I start seeing it right away. I start like feeling it in my face. I start swelling. Right away, there's inflammation in my body. My skin starts to react. And so my digestion isn't as good. So all these things have shown me in the direction of, I need to be very mindful of how I eat these foods, if I ever eat these foods. And so really the little like cravings are coming on super strong today. And I was like, man, you did 5 days, you reached your goal. Why do you need to keep on going? So I was like having a conversation with myself, right? You know, you could get back on it tomorrow. It's no big deal. You don't even have to tell nobody. You could just eat whatever you want. Nobody has to know what you're doing. But I did the exact opposite. I made a post. I was like, oh my God, I'm having cravings. I called myself out. Something I wrote to a few of my friends. I was like, I'm struggling. I'm having some issues. I'm thinking about food. And they were like, come on, Queen, like you got this, you're doing it. And these two friends are on the fruit path as well. They've been fruiting themselves at a high level. So they understand the journey, they understand what it's like to conquer these cravings, right? So it's important to surround yourself with people who know what this journey is all about. If you want to stop drinking, surround yourself with people who have stopped drinking. If you want to eat fruits on a high level, surround yourself with people who are eating fruits on a high level. These are just some of the tips and tools that I have in my tool belt that I reach out to, right? If I'm struggling, if I just stay with that, if I had just stayed with that, I think I would have caved tonight. Really, 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 I think I would have caved tonight. But my higher self, my higher consciousness knows that if I open up, just like I'm doing with you tonight, and I'm coming on live and really making myself accountable and saying, like, hey, I am going through this. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be live. It could be to one individual. It could be to a journal. It could be a post in a community where you feel safe. Just get it out because that is energy that is inside of you that needs to come out. Maybe you need to dance, maybe you need to move. So I went to go. My daughter was asking for some food from my favorite restaurant. That was really what the trigger was, also because I'm like, oh my God, oh, I was like salivating, right? I was like, oh, it's Mother's Day. Why don't I just treat myself with a little something, something, and I'll get back on it tomorrow. And by the grace of God, I went in the bathroom and I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, you're so strong. I talked to myself. I was like, you're so strong. You're so capable. You have overcome hard things. You can do this. Think about how good you're going to feel tomorrow. Think about how good you're going to feel to know that you have gone through another day. When you said you wanted to go another day, right? It's like my goal is different now, So part of me was like, oh, you did the 5 days, it's okay, you could cave tonight, not cave, but like you could treat yourself, right? But my goal is really to come off of these highly, highly stimulating foods and to be on all fruit. That is my goal. That is my dream, is to be able to stick to it and deal with whatever emotions are coming up in those difficult times, right? Because there's always something lying deeper. And that's really what I sat with tonight. And I was like, okay, are you hungry, first of all? Yes, I'm a little hungry. So I had melons. Always be prepared. So I had the melons and I ate a whole lot of melons. I really filled myself with a lot of melons, right? Am I thirsty? Okay. Well, I got my hydration from the melon, but let me just drink a little bit of water extra, just to make sure I'm extra hydrated. So already there, my hunger kind of subsided. And then I asked myself, like, what's going on? First of all, there was a lot of emotions going on. There was a lot of energy downtown, people walking everywhere. I even told Zaya, like, I can't stay here too long. There's just too much people smoking. And when you're on these melons, when you're on these like living foods, you're very sensitive to people's energies, to different smells, perfumes. Like, I was like getting headaches from walking and smelling people's perfumes, talking loud. I'm not used to that. I'm very much like a homebody. I'm by myself a lot at home, in my peace and my energy. So going downtown is like a big adventure. And so I definitely felt my nervous system was really dysregulated from being around so many different energies, right? People drinking, smoking, doing all these things. Like, I'm not on that vibe, right? At all. So we really have to protect ourselves as empaths, as light workers coming into these spaces with so many different energies. So I knew my nervous system was a little dysregulated. So I sat in the car and I took some really, really deep breaths. And the way I breathe is that I breathe in all the air, and I fill up my body, like I fill up my stomach with air, and I hold the breath at the top of the breath. And I hold it for like a good 6 counts before I exhale from the nose all the way out. And then I release it and just empty it out. And then I hold at the bottom of the breath for 6 counts as well. So I take my time to breathe in, and then I hold it, and then I exhale and I hold it. So I did a few rounds of those, and it's amazing how much more calm I started feeling after those deep breaths, after just being in mindfulness, after being in my inquiry of what is going on deeper. Do I really want this Chinese food? Do I really, really need this salt? Because I was doing fine earlier. I was doing fine yesterday. I was doing more than fine. I was not having any cravings. I was not feeling anything like that. I was just like not even thinking about the foods. But then tonight, this evening was like, boom, Mother's Day, reward, celebration, springtime, all these smells. And I cannot even believe that I conquered those. I am telling you, they were so strong. They were so strong. They felt like a pull. They felt like drugs. They felt like all of that I had gone through, that I have gone through. And it was very, very strong. And I know I'm probably on the verge of a release as well. So if you're fasting, if you're juicing, if you're on the fruit and you're feeling this kind of like agitation and you're feeling like those parasites, man, they're really trying to grab onto you. They're trying to grab onto their last bit of hope and they want you to eat those foods so that they could feast, right? And so they love the salty, the oils, the fats, the high seasons, all of that. They love that. So I'm aware of this. And I know that usually on the other side of a major craving like this, I usually have like a pretty big release, a big breakthrough in terms of like bowel movements and also emotional release too. So yeah, I am so, so happy and so proud of myself. I looked at the time. It happened between like 6 o'clock. And then when 8 o'clock came, cravings usually last, I mean, they can last 15 minutes. Usually the peak is about 15 minutes, but then it could last maybe like a few hours. Again, whether it's drugs, alcohol, food, right? So I see it like a wave, right? It's like a mountain that we climb, and then sometimes it comes to the top and then it'll reach a peak, right? The craving gets so hard. And that's where I was at. When I wrote that post about an hour and a half ago, I was like at the peak. And I was like, oh my God, I am here. I need to make a decision. Just like when I was coming off of drugs, just like when I was coming off of alcohol, I remember those moments of being like, you are at the crossroads. I'm getting emotional. You are at the crossroads of a major decision in your life. And people might say, like, oh, it's just food. It's not just food. This is my life. This is my mental health. If I keep falling back into these habits, I keep coming back to the depression. I keep coming back to the anxiety. I keep coming back to the discomfort in my body, which also leaves me more susceptible and more vulnerable to going to the drugs. That's the thing, is that the depression is the underlying root cause of why I was using, why I was unhappy, and why I was self-medicating. So I need to be so, so, so mindful of that depression, that I know I need to heal and regulate with the foods. Food is my medicine. Food is my medicine. And this is what I've been doing for the last 10 years with this plant-based lifestyle. I am saving my life. I am here to save my life. And these fruits make me feel so good. They make me feel so alive. They help me to feel like the most at peace that I have ever felt in my life. When I was on the juices, I felt like this. When I'm on all fruit, I feel like this. I don't I mean, I feel all right when I'm eating the cooked foods, right? But I'm not at my best. I'm not at my optimal mental health, mental capacity. I struggle with ADHD. I'm on the spectrum. Like, it's hard for me to get things done like a regular person would, right? So this food is no joke to me. And so when I find myself at this crossroads between, like, I have a choice to make, Am I going to continue to compromise myself for a meal that will most likely lead to another meal and another meal and another meal? Okay, yeah, I'll get back on it tomorrow. I mean, don't lie to yourself. Stop fucking lying to yourself. You know you're gonna want more tomorrow. You know you're gonna want more tomorrow because that's been the loop I've been in for 2 years. 2 years. I was raw for 3 years, and then I had a little bit of cooked, and it's been 2 years. I'm trying to pull myself back to the raw path with love, always with love for myself, always with love and compassion. I'm trying really hard not to beat myself up, not to put myself in a box and say, oh, I'm judging myself because of it. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just really trying to be like my most optimal self. And oh, I'm so happy you're here too. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for being here with me, Merjan. Thank you for, yes, for sharing this sacred space. It is not easy, but we could have those conversations with ourselves. And I'm so happy. Like, this is saving my life right now. Literally, it's saving my night. It's saving my life. Having that conversation with myself today, I was like, you look good. You look good when you're on the fruit. I like the way you look. I like the way your skin shines. You look like you glow. Why are you going to pull yourself out? Why are you going to allow temptation to take you off this path? You said you wanted to go a month. Go a month, at least a few more days, you know? And then after that, I'm hoping to stay on all fruits. I'm tired of just falling back and that cycle, right? It's like the cycle, the cycle. Salt is so addictive. Salt, good foods, is really, really addictive and really, really difficult to navigate after that. Once you put that drug to your mouth, drug being salt, sugar, cocaine, cigarettes, cannabis, alcohol, coffee, all the drugs, it's hard to control it. I can't control it. That's like telling somebody who, has a drinking problem, just have one glass of wine. Just control it. I don't know how to control it. You just have weak, you don't have willpower, right? How many times did I hear that? People telling me like, you just got to control it better. How many times did I go back to the alcohol, go back to the drugs to see that I just have a problem with it? I don't care what other people are doing out there. I don't care if somebody can just have a drink and stop there. Good for them. That's not me. I will go on a bender. I will go for days. I will go to the point of killing myself. I have no chill. I have no stop. I don't know how to stop my body, my mind. I don't know what it is. I'm an addict. I am an addict, whether it's the food, whether it's all of these things. It's the same thing. And being so radically honest with myself, I was like, oh, cannabis, it's okay. Like, it's just weed. It's just this. But the way I was smoking, it wasn't healthy. It wasn't healthy. It was an addiction. I'm not saying it's for everybody. For me, it became a crutch. It became my everything. If I didn't have it, I would freak out. I would panic. I just like my whole world revolved around it. Same with harder drugs. I saw other people kind of dealing with it a little bit better than I did. I was a hot mess. I was a hot mess. So I'm just applying this to the food as well, having conquered all these things and the power of the breath, the power of taking a step back, of just asking ourselves those questions like, what is going on underneath? Do you need a hug? Do you need to call a friend? Do you need to journal? Do you need more fruit? Do you need to move the energy around and dance? Sometimes we need to like shake it off and just like move that energy around because it's stuck in the body. Is there some childhood trauma that's coming up? We're looking for comfort. We're not here to blame ourselves for it. But if we want to ascend, transcend, and move past it, we have to go to those darknesses. We have to move the energy around and really address the root cause of what's going on. I didn't feel loved when I was a child. I felt sad when I was bullied. I was sad when my first boyfriend cheated on me. All those things, they add up, they add up, they build up in our system, they build up in our bodies where we don't love ourselves. We don't have love for ourselves. We have to remember how to love ourselves. We have to remember that we are love. We are love. Today on the royal gathering in our community, I was just like so moved to see everybody come together. This is something that I created 2.5 years ago after my last relapse. And I heard God telling me, start this community. And I said, who, me? He said, start this community. And today it is thriving. It is thriving. People are showing up. People are changing. People are transforming their lives. And it's just so beautiful to see that I was able to create that. And then we were able to create that synergy together. And it's growing and it's blossoming into something so, so magical. So we are powerful. And never forget that. We are powerful. If I forgot that I was powerful tonight, I promise you I would have eaten and I probably would have gone through another cycle of God knows how long. I'm tired of those cycles. I'm telling, I am so like, I felt so liberated the first 2 days on this fruit. I was just like crying. I was like, thank you, God, for helping me to liberate myself because I felt trapped and I felt in a prison with the foods, taking up all my mind, taking up my thoughts, taking my money, spending a lot of money. And the addiction with the food kind of gets bigger and bigger for me anyway. Again, it's like, oh, let me just have some steamed broccoli. Let me just have a little baked zucchini. Okay, that's all fun and games until you go to a restaurant, everybody's having sweet and sour soup, hot and sour soup, and like Indian food. And then you're like, oh, let me just have a little bit of this and let me have a little bit of that. Next thing I know, I was having bread and rice and pasta, things that I wasn't even eating in the past. And it was taking me away from myself, making me lose motivation, making me tired through the day. I didn't even want to come on videos because I was so bloated. I was like, this is not my highest alignment. I know what I came here to do. I know I'm on a mission. I know I'm here to create a physical community too. I know I'm here to create a healing center to help people to overcome these addictions. And somebody today on the live said, Aline, thank you so much for being so authentic, for being so transparent, for telling us what you're going through and being on this journey with us, telling us you're eating the cooked foods, telling us that it's not easy, instead of being like so many of the influencers that they claim to be raw vegan or fruitarian and this and that, and then behind closed doors they're eating all kinds of stuff and not really telling people the truth of the journey of what they're experiencing, because what, they don't want to like get the backlash. I risked that. I risked getting the backlash in exchange for authenticity and to share with people the reality of overcoming eating disorders and the reality of overcoming addictions. Even in my relapses, I shared, I fell, I'm in rehab again. This is hard, because it is. And there's so many layers to healing. And just when you think you've dealt with one thing, there's something else that pops up. Just when you think you've like risen above one challenge, whoop, something else comes up, or a relationship comes up to show you that, oh yeah, I'm actually still really jealous. Oh yeah, those are my triggers and they're still there. And there's so much work to be done and we never stop growing. We never stop growing. We're always evolving. And I find that only by being real with each other can we just like remove that pressure to be so perfect, to be so, I don't know what it is. Maybe we just always want to be loved. Maybe we always want to receive approval and we're afraid that we're not going to get people's approval if we're not perfect. But that's also an illusion. I have found I have gained even more friends and even more deep connections from being just really honest and raw with what it is that I'm experiencing. And the raw food path, the fruitarian path, is not for the weak of heart. Like, this is no joke, to be on all fruit and then to be around other people who are eating a certain way, eating animals in front of you, and you're just like trying to keep your peace and trying to stay calm, and you're like, just wake up, you know? Um, but you just gotta like focus on yourself, focus on what it is that you're doing. And I have chosen the path of love, not the path of shaming people, not the path of judging them or telling them that they're wrong. You know, hopefully through my own light shining, they're going to be inspired and they're going to be like, okay, this is something I want to do too, because I've seen the transformations in you. I see what it's doing for you. But it's not everybody's path. And we have to let people be doing their own thing and protect our own energy. So let's come back to the mountain, the craving mountain that I was talking about, you know, that peak where you think that like you just can't take it anymore and you have to use or eat or drink or whatever it is. If you can make it and just like start and it starts to de-escalate, you're good. Like it's just going to start going down, and that peak could last, like I said, 15 minutes. I mean, sometimes an hour, sometimes 2 hours. But we don't have to act on it. We don't have to act impulsively on it. And if we do, it's okay. Like, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong. But I've just done it so many times. And I really want to show myself what I can do if I don't give up. What I can do if I stay on the fruit for a month, for 6 months, for a year. I'm not scared anymore. I had a lot of fear around it. I had a lot of fear around eating just fruit. And that fear has been taken away by seeing so many people thriving on this lifestyle. So I'm not doing it for any other reason than to feel my best and for my spiritual, physical, emotional well-being to rise to the next level and to accomplish what God needs me to accomplish, what He's asking me to accomplish. I need to be on my best. Hey, beautiful Queen Christina. Oh my gosh, day 4 on all fruit. Congratulations. Ooh, Queen, you are amazing. Day 6, let's go. I'm so happy and proud of you, girl. This is no joke. Emergent says people eating animals around us. That hits hard. It's so true. We still live in this weird world where people think they need animal flesh to feel good. We are not vampires. Wake up, folks. Yes. Ooh, it is hard knowing all of this and seeing the like war that has been raged on the animals, and even making the connections between the war that is happening between people and the war that's happening on our plates, right? If we're able to be eating blood and flesh and a dead creature and knowing that our hands are dirty with that blood on some level, then we're able to cause harm to our brothers and sisters. We're able to wage war on another country. It just goes hand in hand. And as long as we have blood on our plates, there will be blood on our streets. There will be war. We have to make those connections and start living in peace within our own selves and start eating the diet that God has for us and intended for us. And I do believe it is a fruit-based, cruelty-free lifestyle, 100%. The Essene Gospel of Peace. Jesus was an Essene. Jesus was eating a raw vegan diet. He did not eat fish. Jesus was a lover of all people, animals. He was a peaceful man who practiced fasting, who practiced eating fruits from the land. That's it, you know? And we forget that. People want to do the praying part, but they don't want to do the fasting part. People go to church praising God and all of that, and then they go home and they eat animals that have been butchered, you know? So there's a lot of hypocrisy and a lot of confusion in the world. So just come home to yourself, find your truth, find your peace, meditate, find stillness. Just those few moments of stillness could save your life from falling back into old habits, from eating that thing that you don't want to eat, that you know you shouldn't be eating, that you know is going to bring you down and make you feel bad. But sometimes we like that pain. Sometimes we're addicted to that suffering and to that cycle, because coming out of that means we know we're stepping into our light. We know we're stepping into our mission, into our purpose. And I think that's what has been holding me back, because I have been very afraid of that, because I know deep in my soul that I am very powerful, as we all are. And it is our light that often frightens us the most, more than our darkness, is coming into that. People telling you, oh, I see you. I see your potential. I see you writing books. I see you doing this. I see you doing that. And then you know it in your heart that you're meant to be doing all these things too. And that means a lot of things. But only the brave, only the courageous will make their dreams a reality, you know? And the rewards are great for that, when you know you're on a mission and you make sacrifices to be on that mission and to accomplish it in this lifetime. I feel it. I see it already. So many miracles have been happening since I've been on the fruit. Every time I fast, so many synchronicities and miracles start happening. So I know it and I feel it, and I praise God for. I was seeing signs too tonight. I turned on the radio in the car, and it was the song Kings and Queens, which is like, it was the name of my group before the Revolution. It was called Kings and Queens of Raw. I was like, okay, all right, I see a sign. And then just after that, I changed the channel, and it was in French, and they were talking about a book called Fruits. A book. It was one lady that was recommending this as a Mother's Day gift. She was just like, oh yeah, it's a great book. They talk about the local Quebec fruits, berries, blueberries, raspberries, and there's some recipes in there. So I'm like, okay, fruits. I was just like sign after sign after sign. And then I saw a rainbow on the car in front of me. And it was so funny because I had to take a detour. I took a wrong turn and I had to take a detour. So it was like to end up behind this car that had a rainbow. And then it says, we got you. And I was like, oh, okay, like I'm on the right track. I did the right thing. I'm not going to eat tonight. I'm not going to eat anything other than melons. I'm going to stick to this. And I'm going to be very proud of myself tonight, tomorrow, and then we'll see. But I definitely wanted to get through today and share a little bit with you as I am moving myself through these cravings, that you can do it and it passes. And I promise you, I'm probably going to have a good cry after this, because I feel like there's a big emotional release that needs to happen. And that's why I was craving the food, because I haven't really been allowing myself to cry. I haven't really been allowing myself to really, really have that like deep emotional release. And sometimes that's exactly what gets us to eat or do the thing or drink or smoke or whatever it is. It's that we're just like, we're not processing our emotions, because they're hard to process. It's not easy. But you feel so much better after just being real with yourself and knowing that you have everything that you need just within you. You don't need the food. You don't need anything to make you feel better. You could give yourself that comfort and love. That is ultimately what we're really craving, and that connection. We're looking for connection. We're looking for connection to God. We're looking for connection to others, connection to ourselves. So when we create that connection, wow, we don't need that thing that we thought we needed an hour ago. Woo. Hmm. Thank you so much, Queen Lori. Thank you. I'm so happy. Thank you for joining. Not easy to share in this vulnerable space. And I really felt that this would be beneficial for myself and for whoever wants to join, whoever is here and available. And if you have any questions or want to have a conversation, please reach out to me. Come into our community too. It's a beautiful healing space. Every Saturday we gather in the Revolution group on Facebook. Beautiful, beautiful community. I love my soul tribe. I love my soul family. I swear, I always say, like, my friends are in the internet. People who are on this path, I'm not surrounded by them. So I'm so, so grateful for each and every one of you. Thank you for holding space for me, for loving me unconditionally too, as I myself grow, and I love you unconditionally as you are growing. We're all in this wild human experience. Nobody knows what the fuck they're doing. If you think somebody looks like they know what they're doing, like they're lying. Or maybe they do. I don't know. I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. Just winging it. And doing the best we can every single day. And that's the thing is like being in that feminine essence, being in that feminine flow, just allowing things to happen, allowing things to come our way, aligning with God and His will for our life will just start to make everything come together. I promise you. It is pretty amazing what happens when we just have this like full surrender. Say, okay, God, use me. Like, use me. My way was not working. My way was not working. Let me do it your way. Show me. Just show me. Have an opening. Show me. Bring me the teachers. Bring me what I need to see. Bring me what I need to do. Because I don't know. I don't know. I'm lost. Yeah. I don't feel lost anymore. I was lost. Yeah. And I have days I forget. And then I have to remind myself. And God reminds me that I'm on the right track. One day at a time. And sometimes it goes slow and sometimes it goes fast. But just don't give up. Don't give up. You're not alone. I wanted to share some more tools. Did I go around them? Yeah, like moving the energy, breathing, journaling, talking, sometimes screaming too. Sometimes there needs to be like a visceral scream that comes out. Just tapping into what's going on underneath the craving and remembering how strong you are and you're never alone. And more people would relate to you than not. So if you have the inkling to share and ask for support, do it. Do it. We don't have to go at this alone at all. Whew, thank you all so much. I am going to have a little bit more watermelon before I sleep. I'm so happy to be home in my energy, like in your energy, away from the world. It was really, really hard to walk in that and smell all that. It was like bombarding, you know? So I'm just gonna like take a moment to meditate, give thanks, and I made it through another day. Thank you all so, so, so much. Thank you for joining me tonight. I love you from the bottom of my heart. You are my soul family, and I cannot wait to eat fruit with you live in person. Live in person. It's gonna happen. It's going to happen so soon. We have a retreat in Bali coming up in November. More information on that coming. And then also, like I said, you know, my dream is to create a physical, loving, intentional community of planting fruit trees, building homes, hosting immersions, hosting retreats, juice fasts, fruit cleanses. So that's another reason why I need to get this right. And that's why it hasn't happened yet, because I'm still in my process. I'm still in my healing journey. How am I going to show somebody how to eat fruit for so many days if I haven't done it yet? Like, I need to do it. I know how to juice for 100 days. I know how to water fast for 23 days. I know how to be plant-based for 10 years, but there's certain levels to this initiation that I really need to master in order to teach them and in order to share them. And yeah, it's just like the experience is everything, right? So it's happening. Thank you. I love you so much. I hope you have a beautiful night. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me. And I love you so much. I'm going to give myself a hug. And in hugging myself, I am also hugging you because we are one. Mwah. All right. I will see you very soon. I'll probably come on live tomorrow and give a little update as well. That'll help me to be accountable to even move through the night even smoother. All right. Peace and love to all of you.